This episode of the Game Club podcast contains spoilers for Minecraft Dungeon. Zzz. Could not organise a in a brewery, us two.
Tim, let me tell you something. I can't stand it. I know you planned it. I'm going to set it straight. This is Watergate. Hello. Welcome to two guys from Game Club Pod.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're doing. And I'm a fan.
Have you seen the cover of that song? First of all, it's Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But have you seen the cover of it by Slipknot and Korn?
I feel like I
have. That they did live. It's actually really good.
Slade, it feels like it's been forever since we spoke. What have you been doing?
We say that every time.
I know.
You and I don't talk outside of this, except for the occasional Instagram reel that I send you, and then you eventually look at it.
I am never on Instagram.
Right. See, I am because I'm too much of an adult for TikTok.
No, I like TikTok. It's brain melting, and I love it.
I got bombarded for season 2 of Between Two Pods.
What?
Yeah, with people wanting to do it. So
that's very cool.
I've already got, so the date the episode, it's October 8th, right?
Yeah.
I have the 16th, the 30th, and that's of this month, November 13th, 27th, and all the way down to December 11th.
Jesus Christ, that is
recorded
that's a lot.
And edited.
God damn, that's a lot of content.
That's a lot of content for you people.
Yeah.
I hope y'all are grateful.
I'm planning on reworking some of the admin side of what I do on the pod, which right now is very little, but I want to have more involvement. So I'm planning on setting up like a timetable and a task view and everything, which would be fun.
Do you want to actually do some extra editing?
Not editing, anything but, thank you. I'm dreading doing this, frankly.
You remember when you used to edit everything, Tim?
Yes, I know, and then I outsourced something to the Northern Boy for the Fanatic, and then I think it seemed to be that just every single thing in the fucking world was just stopping me from editing. Like I would move, or there would be like issues with home, or my internet would be down, or something, and right. I just couldn't edit for like months.
Can we also go ahead and tell everybody that Joey is not here because he is sick?
Yes, he is not well. He's under the weather. So unfortunately, we're not. I suppose I could put together a little quiz or something.
Nah, it's fine. Quiz-free episode, no jingles. It's old school Game Club Pod.
You bet your ass I'm slamming in some jingles right here.
Give me back that filet fish. Give me that fish.
But I don't have to listen to it. That's the difference.
That is the difference. Audience, send your jingles to @SladePlaysGames.
Slade listens to jingles.
Slade likes jingles @Twitter.org. Shall we go into the episode?
We can. I was going to tell you about a type of person that I don't like whatsoever.
Wait, okay, let's pump the brakes here before you pull out a race card or something.
I haven't had one of those jokes in a long time.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, and I just want you to know, if you're this person, you're rather miserable, and most of us don't like you. So, you ever in a group of people, and I know I'm one of the rare ones, but I've never had COVID, like, the whole time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have not gotten it. And then there's always some dickhead in the room who goes, oh, you probably had it, but you didn't know it. Fuck you.
See, I have the opposite of that, where at the time, I was sick and didn't put together that it was COVID, but in hindsight, I think it might have been COVID, but I don't know. So right. I'm on the other side of that coin.
Right. I've been healthy the whole time. The only thing I've done is pull a muscle in my arm, and I have bruised this part of my shoulder yesterday, but that's a different discussion.
What did you do?
I rebuilt a shotgun recently, went to test fire it, and I didn't have it seated properly at one point.
Oh, and it kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, if you're the person that tells somebody, yeah, you probably had it, but you didn't know it, you're the equivalent of the guy like, oh, yay, I won the lottery. Oh, you know you have to pay taxes on that, right? You're just a buzzkill.
Just a fucking wet blanket.
Don't do it. I'm immune to it at this point. That's my logic.
I don't think you're immune to it. You're not like the miracle cure child from like The Last of Us or every zombie movie.
As far as I'm concerned, I am.
All right, fine. I'm just going to start calling you Ellie from now on then.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Say Parker Elliott.
Was it you who said my last name like that the first time?
No.
Who was it?
No.
Who was it? It's somebody we both know. Who was it?
It wasn't Joey, was it? He thought he didn't know that your name was pronounced Island.
Right.
It
I
might
think it
have
was
been-
Joey. I think it was
might have
Joey.
been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wasn't that on the podcast?
It was like one of the early episodes, like
I
episode
think it-
3 or something. We've been doing it for a few weeks already. Oh, fuck's sake. All right, well, to crack on with the episode, this game, I do it every week. Every week. This episode of the Game Club podcast contains spoilers for Minecraft Dungeons. Minecraft Dungeons. Slade, play the music. Play the music, Slade.
Do that, do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. There you go, Tim. Have
Thank
fun
you.
with that.
All right, fine. Thank you. Hello and welcome to Game Club Pod, where we discuss video games not too dissimilar from a book club. Once every 2 weeks, I'm one of your hosts, Tim, at Wembembo on everything. You can also find me on my other podcast, Fanatics. I'm joined by Slade.
Hello, I'm Slade. You can find me here twice, once at the Game Club Pod. The other one is Between Two Pods, which is the interview show here.
I'm going to be on here 3 times soon.
Yes, you are. That's a secret project, though. We can't
Secret
tell people
project.
about it.
Shush.
Yeah.
Actually, by the time, if it all goes to plan, that'll be out by the time this episode comes out.
Well, then you might have heard it. You can also find me at Slade Plays Games on everything except Blue Sky, because it's Slade Plays Games with a Z, because I still haven't figured out how to, A, log back into my account, because I don't remember what the password was, and B, I couldn't figure out how to change it either.
Do you just want another Blue Sky code?
No, it's fine. I'll figure it. I'll get to it. Have you thought about this, right? Because you get so ingrained with like using a certain app or whatever. So like when Reddit decided to commit, seppuku again and get rid of the third-party apps, because like I've only used Reddit through Reddit is fun.
Sure.
Never on desktop, never anywhere else. And then they killed third-party app support.
Mm-hmm.
I've just not gone back to it. I've not been on Reddit ever since.
I have in terms of apps, I've only ever used Apollo Blue when I was on iPhone.
Right.
But since I've been on Android, I've only ever used the official Reddit app. The official Reddit app fucking sucks. It's awful. But the only reason I don't go to something else, A, it's all dead now, and B, it's just the lack of familiarity. At least I know what shit I'm dealing with.
I think that's why it's so hard to get away from like Twitter, right?
Well, I think Blue Sky is going to be the thing to do it. Like I thought Threads might, but like
I've had this conversation before, and I always thought it was going to be Facebook would be the first one to kind of shoot itself in the foot. But obviously,
it hasn't already a few times.
Right. But they still have multiple toes. They're shooting off, right? And I think Twitter's slowly on that. But I always thought Facebook would be the first one to go because it seems very slow, to be honest. User numbers say otherwise. But the thing is, I thought Facebook would be the one just because, kids younger than us, because you and I are, middle aged now. Kids younger than us don't want to be on there with us, their parents, and their grandparents, or whatever else.
Yeah.
So I figured something else would come and take it over. Unless
something does a big old rebrand. Like, I don't know if you saw MySpace's rebrand.
No.
So Justin Timberlake now owns MySpace, and
he's owned it for a while, hasn't he?
He has, yeah, but he repurposed it into a music platform, and it actually looks kind of good.
Okay.
Like, obviously, it's been a long time since I've written any sort of music, but if I was an artist, I would probably use it. Are you looking at it now?
This website does not look that good.
Have they updated it again since? Hang on.
It's kind of ugly.
I'm going to MySpace. They changed it again. Before it was all like glass panel-y and shit.
Yeah, part of the website's not loading for me either.
Yeah, me either. I think they might be out.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Damn. Well, the big reason,
like the opposite of a phoenix, it died twice.
well, the big reason I think of it, right? So you had like just bare bones internet forums, right?
Mm.
We had that. We had, depending on how you say it, GeoCities or Geocities. I've heard both.
Geocities.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So GeoCities, and then we had Friendster, then MySpace, then Facebook came around.
Friendster wasn't a thing over here.
Right. Well, Bebo wasn't over here.
Ah.
Right. So it's, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I had a weird thing with Bebo. There was a big old thing where, certainly over in the UK, people on Bebo were like, there was a big old thing of like, oh, if you go on Bebo, there's a bunch of people that have killed themselves on there. And someone that I knew, I don't know who it was, no idea, made a Bebo account for me and added a bunch of my friends and family. And my dad kicked off at me.
Oh, really?
And he was like, I don't want you on that fucking website. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And he showed me it, and I was reading over the bio. I was like, wow, someone really knew me like 4 years ago. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. I basically sent off a request to their support and was like, this isn't me. Can the thing be taken down? I'm like, yeah, sure, fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably talk about video games.
We should.
As we're in the main bit of the episode now, that was preamble 2. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of a question. Are there any games that you are planning on coming back to that you've played before, podcast or otherwise?
Yes, one's coming up, actually. It's in the next episode.
Yes. Okay. Outside of that one.
Outside of that, I always go back. And I've said this like 1,000 times. I always go back and play Half-Life 2 occasionally. I've been meaning to go back and play Neon White again.
Good game. Fun game.
That's a very fun game.
Yeah. I was saying this to my girlfriend. I am planning on going back and playing Yakuza 0 again.
Okay.
I made it very clear in the episode. I fucking loved Yakuza 0.
You did.
I did. And I want to play it again. I want to experience all that kind of stuff again. Yeah. What would Joey play? Slade, do a Joey impression. What would he play?
I'm Joey, and
why is he Watto from Star Wars?
I don't know. What would Joey play again?
Joey would probably play Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Souls.
Yeah, Dark Souls, Bloodborne. We haven't talked about Elden Ring for like
Elden
the 12th
Ring.
time.
Yeah. Hold on, pot and kettle, Mr. Half-Life.
One of these takes a lot less time. Let's be clear.
It depends on how good you are at Elden Ring, I suppose.
Not very good, Tim. That's why I haven't gone past the first boss.
There you go. Speaking of playing things a couple of times, Minecraft Dungeons. Because I played some of this with my girlfriend on PlayStation, and at the time I wasn't into it, but then I got a Steam Deck and played it on Game Pass. And I really, really enjoyed Minecraft Dungeons on the Steam Deck.
I hate to do this. Can I pull you back real quick?
Yeah.
It's on PlayStation.
It's on PlayStation 4 and 5.
Is it?
Yeah.
That feels dirty.
Why?
Well, Microsoft owns it.
Well, yeah, but like Bungie's owned by bloody Sony now as well.
That's true.
Yeah, and like
it just feels weird to hear Minecraft on PlayStation.
Minecraft on PlayStation isn't unheard of because that was like on there long before the acquisition.
Yeah.
But certainly the spin-offs like Minecraft Legends and Dungeons and Story Mode or whatever. Although have you seen the Story Mode is one of the Netflix games?
Yeah.
I've heard it's pretty good.
I don't know how Netflix games works.
It's basically like just cloud streaming a game that you can play on your remote.
Okay.
So like, oh no, you wouldn't have had this memory. Joe would be able to sharing this with me. We used to have a service called Sky, which is like a TV and broadband provider over here, and they used to have like games you could play on your remote, like Bumblebee, Bobble, that kind of thing. And I used to play the shit out of those games.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, it was a game that you just play on your TV.
Sure.
Yeah, it's fine. Minecraft Dungeons is a game that came out in 2020. It is a dungeon crawler developed by Mojang Studios Double 11. who make some pretty good stuff, and published by Xbox Game Studios. It came out on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, apparently in arcades. Don't know how that happened. Obviously,
Sure.
Xbox, PC, and it's available on Game Pass. Maybe phones as well. I don't know.
You probably do cloud streaming on your phone, I would assume.
Well, yeah, I'm not counting cloud streaming though. If I go to more,
But then there's more.
yeah, Switch, PS4. It got an arcade release, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, and Xbox Series X and S. So it got a decent array of releases. As mentioned, it was developed by Mojang and Double 11, published by Xbox Game Studios. It got the British Academy Games Award for Best Family Game, and also won the Game Awards for Best Family Game. I'm going to go to immediate thoughts with, who am I going to pick? Slade.
I was ready for you to say Joey. I haven't clicked on his message yet. But, Tim.
Oh, yeah, he sent us his thoughts.
Yeah, well, he sent them to me, not
Yeah.
to you. Because I'm his favorite.
What?
So, I want to show you something, Tim.
What is it?
It's the notebook.
Oh, no.
That's all the notes I got for the whole game.
That is a quarter of a page, and it's like an A2 notebook. No, A5 notebook?
Ready?
Yeah.
The single player just needs a little bit better balancing.
Do you know what? That's very fair. That's a really good criticism.
That's all I got. I had a great. This has been one of the best things you've picked all year. Congratulations!
It's phenomenal game.
Put some applause here in the background. Put the Neon Genesis Evangelion applause in the background where everybody says congratulations. Put that right here.
All right, fine. So you had a great time with it.
Yeah, I had a ton. I couldn't put it down. I was having an amazing time with it.
Great. What? Any particular highlights? Any things you did?
Not really. No particular. I mean, accidentally selling armor that you don't mean to, which happens in any
But you
kind
can
of game
undo.
like this. It'd be too late by the time I realized.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, single player just needs a little better balancing for those of us who don't have somebody to play with, and rock and roll. It's great.
Yeah, great time. I personally played this multiplayer. I sat down, so I played on the Steam Deck, Steam Corner. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I didn't play it on Steam, but I played on Game Pass streaming on my Steam Deck.
Right.
It was great. It worked flawlessly. And like to give you an idea, my wireless router for my internet is sat basically next to me on the shelf over here, and I was playing in my bedroom on the other end of my apartment.
Right.
No lag at all. Like, sure, if I paused it and put it down for maybe 5 minutes to go and get a drink or something, then yes, I would come back and there'd be a bit of latency while like the cloud streaming kind of catches up with itself.
Right.
But that's not the game's problem.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like I think, like you've said, it probably could do with a little bit of better balancing. But in multiplayer, it's balanced amazingly well.
The big balancing issue to me comes from the not so much projectile enemies, but the projectile witches throwing poison. Because especially if you played by yourself like I did, it was so easy to get just overwhelmed by them.
They just like stack like poison and debuffs and straight damage. Just like there'll be about 5 or 6 witches lobbing potions at you, and their whole point is they'll run away.
Yep.
Congrats, you're now playing against a zoner in a fighting game.
Yeah, that's really the only balancing it needs. Just tone that down a bit, and I'd called it baby's first Diablo. That's really what it is, right?
Well, this is what I said to Payne, not baby's first Diablo, but it's a Diablo-like. Like, obviously, dungeon crawler is the appropriate word for it, but this is pretty fucking close.
I would say this is like, you're a dad, you have a couple of kids, you've been playing Diablo 4 nonstop, and your kids are like, I want to try this, and you want to give them something age appropriate that's good.
Yeah,
Minecraft
absolutely.
Dungeons.
All right, what's Joey got to say about it?
Oh, let me tell you what Joey had to say about it. I think I gave Joey, I told him I don't know if this is a backhanded compliment or not, but I told him the other day that he sometimes gives off Greg Davies energy.
I love a backhanded compliment, like something like,
yeah.
"Oh, you finally decided to wear a nice shirt." It was like, well, what does that mean?
I'm sure you don't hear that often, Tim.
No, my shirts are fantastic, thank you.
So, Joey wrote to me very lovely. I know that Slade and Tim enjoyed this game a lot. On the other hand, I did not.
Oh,
I played for 5 hours, some with people, some without. When playing with others, they ran the game and I was a passenger, mindlessly attacking something that I had no idea what was happening. When playing by myself, I found that the game compensated my solo playthrough so much that it was a walk in the park. I played it for 3 hours by myself and didn't die once. My weapons that were random, there's bunny quotes there, were very similar to the playthrough when I was with others. The villagers were annoying, the levels in the different Minecraft aesthetics were difficult to navigate, and all over, I didn't find the game that fun in the slightest. I'd rather try Diablo or any of the other games that this was copy and pasted from, and then put in a Minecraft skin. I get that some love Minecraft and everything, that it puts. Wait, what? I get that some love Minecraft and everything that it puts out, but personally, I find this very far from the mark. Playable, and I didn't experience any technical difficulties, but I really didn't enjoy my experience at all.
I mean, if you didn't enjoy the experience, that's
I
completely
don't know what
subjective.
I got my ass kicked a bunch. I always said, Joe, you two are better video game players than I am. I got my ass kicked a lot.
So when you complete this game, did you finish the story for this game?
No, I
Okay,
played
fair
it for
enough.
maybe like 8 or 10 hours, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, it's still a good amount of time to put in. But if
Yeah.
you
I
beat
was
the
doing like a
story,
completionist. I was like looking around for things.
well, I don't know if Joe was looking at the difficulty sliders, but not only is there like a difficulty slider per level that you go into, like you remember the skulls when you select the level. I don't know if he was just going for like the recommended or not. I'm sure he could better tell us like when he's next here. But you can adapt your difficulty depending on what you're comfortable feeling doing. Personally, when I played with Pain, I went up one difficulty above the recommended
Mhm.
to give myself a bit of a challenge. But when you finish the game, you unlock even more difficulties.
It's kind of like the only game I really think about with that's like Gears of War and Borderlands.
Well, it's not the first game to do like hidden
No, I know,
difficulty
no. It's the
unlocks.
first two that come to mind, though.
All right, Slade. Let's talk highlights for you. Was there any weapons, enemies, levels?
There was a very, and again, this is where I say the game needs more balancing. There was a very broken companion that I got that I could summon. There are summons in this game, so you could, I guess D&D term, summon a familiar, right?
Yeah.
And I had a little dude that shot fire, and his cooldown time was 3 seconds.
Which is not long.
That's not very long. And when you're in a horde and you just keep stacking your mana, you earn that. I'm calling it mana. I think they call it XP in the game or whatever.
I think it is mana.
Yeah, but as you kill people, they drop like 2 at a time, and it stacks for a long way. Now that's the other cool thing we could talk about in here. There is stacking of mana, which is nice. So you can have more than one summon familiar at a time. You can have like
4.
Yeah, which
If
that
you want
makes
to do that.
Yeah, it's not beneficial. Like I always kept like these speedy boots that let me roll like 3 times in a row.
Speedy boots, fireworks were always a great shout.
There's like when he says fireworks, think of like an arrow, but it's fireworks going off. Yeah, and you could get some that shot like 5 at a time.
Yeah, I used to use them. I used to use the lantern as well a lot because that's basically just like a bomb that you can just leave and run away.
Yeah. There's also times where you'll kill like a creeper a certain way, and you'll get like TNT like you do in the game.
Oh yeah, you can throw it.
Yeah, you can yeet it, but I always threw it on accident because it takes your bow slot.
Yep. I mean, it's projectile. It makes sense. Like, how else do you do it? But like, I would often forget as well.
Yeah, but sometimes there's just so much going on the screen, you just lose track of it.
For me, I really, really liked the fact they went out of their way to develop new Minecraft mobs for this game. Sometimes they were just bosses, sure, but like, do you remember things like the Ender Golem, where it's like an Enderman with like that's just like a big bulky dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that was really, really cool. I would like to see more of that in base Minecraft.
You didn't play it with us.
No.
But Tunic kind of had a lot of playing it solo had a lot of the same vibes to it.
I can imagine there's some inspiration. Obviously, it's an isometric dungeon crawly thing.
Yeah. There was a lot of, it felt a lot like that, but the bosses weren't as bad. In Tunic, they were very spongy. And
Whereas
they
this
weren't
actually feels pretty fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. There isn't all too much of a story to this game. It's not like got a deep lore like Diablo has. And the Diablo comparisons are going to come up a lot because it's pretty clear there was a heavy inspiration from Diablo.
Right.
But what I've done here is just got the synopsis from the game, which is fight your way through an all-new action-adventure game inspired by classic dungeon crawlers and set in the Minecraft universe. Brave the dungeons alone or set up teams with friends. Up to 4 players can battle together through an action-packed, treasure-stuffed, wildly varied level. In an epic quest to save villagers and take down the evil Arch-Illager. Discover the trove of powerful new weapons and items that will help you defeat ruthless swarms of new and nasty mobs. Fight or flee through canyons, swamps, and of course, mines. Any adventurer brave or foolish enough to explore this blocky and beautiful world should come prepared. So quickly, gear up. I thought one of the things that was really, really cool about this was obviously the objective is rescue the villager, but then it wouldn't just be like, oh, cool, the villager has f***ed off into the ether now. They would often arrive back at your camp and become merchants.
Yeah, but so there were like times you go into like a camp, let's say, right, like an enemy camp.
Sure.
And there would be like 8 or 9 you'd have to and you could just tell they're very generic NPCs, but the one with the funny hat, he's gonna sell you some.
He's your guy.
In the town. Yeah, but you got to save all of them to get him. Sometimes they would hide the shop merchant, which I thought was cool because the maps, you kind of keep going through the same map over and over, but it encouraged you to explore and find it. And the game was also pretty clear about telling you like, hey, there's some chests you missed here, and it would just show like a villager.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't tell you which merchant you had left behind or hadn't found yet.
It also does a really nice thing where you can have a very opaque map on your screen at all times, and it doesn't obstruct the view. Yep. But if you're looking for it, you can see the map almost kind of in the foreground, kind of in the background.
Right.
And makes it a lot easier to navigate.
You also get 4 lives technically, so you have the one that you're playing, and then you can mess up 3 times.
I think it's incredibly well thought out, this game. I had a great time with it.
I do too. I wish Joey was here to tell us why we were wrong.
Me too. May he get better soon. Do you have any criticisms outside of game needs balancing?
Not really, no.
No? I thought some of the weekly challenges, because this thing's kind of... Oh, you didn't do any of the weeklies?
No.
Okay.
Went right over my head.
Some of the weekly challenges, to give you an idea then, would be you would approach a level that you've already done, but each week there would just be a set of randomized challenges, and it's heavily random, about, hey, you need to get to the end of this level, rescue the villagers and whatever, but here are the modifiers, which is a really cool concept. It just doesn't feel like they were the most planned out. So, like, we had one once where it was like, hey, 90% of the mobs are swapped with creepers, including sheep and cows and stuff. I was like, oh god, okay.
That's actually kind of cool, to be honest.
It's really cool, but it's just not the most balanced. Like, it comes back to a balancing issue, which I don't know if this game's getting any more updates, but if it did, it would be really nice to get a balance update.
Yeah, a balance. Oh, the other thing I was thinking, this game, like many other AAA made games, suffers highly from menu overload.
I think that's a Diablo-like thing, though.
No, there's a lot of AAA games that do, though, where it's just like you open it up, I want to know the level, but there's like 10,000 pieces of information right in my eyeballs, and I just got to look for certain things.
I'm with you. I understand. Yeah, no, yeah. I get it. It's like, hey, it's the swamp, but it's at night, which means certain animals won't be there, but more animals will. And also, your shoes are untied this time, and your sword is stuck on your back and you can't get it off. Like, there's just a lot of information to take in all at once when selecting level.
and you're just like, Jesus, could we like tone it down for like 5 seconds, please?
On the topic of weapons, it was nice to play a Minecraft game where the combat didn't entirely revolve around a sword.
That's also true. I like the fact that it mixed it up between crossbows and bows, daggers,
dual axes,
dual scythes,
great swords, regular sword. There was a battle axe you could do. There was a lance, a spear. Like, there was a lot in this game.
Yeah. There's, and then not only on top of that, we've mentioned some of the mobs you could spawn, but there was like there's more than just mobs. There was also like items you could equip, certain types of armor. There was also like mystery boxes you could buy as well,
Yeah.
which was cool.
I'm just looking now. One of the things that so the other thing you can do as well is you can also with these merchants that you rescue in the villages, you can if you have a particular set of items that you like. So, for example, you may have the fire summon, the firework, the lantern, and a bow that you like. For example, you can leave that with the village blacksmith and go on a quest without your items to almost give yourself like an artificial difficulty increase.
Right.
To only to come back and find your equipment upgraded, but it will only upgrade if you finish that level.
Okay.
I think that's a really, really cool idea. That's a really good reward.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm thinking about this game is that it does like it keeps the rewards nice, although you do run into the problem where after a while it's just the same common items over and over and over and over, which gets really annoying.
Yeah.
But I think there's still enough in there that keeps it fresh and fun.
Yeah. I don't know that there's much else to say about this game, to be honest. I think this is going to be a pretty short episode.
I do too, unless you and I figure out something to bullshit about for the next 30 minutes. I can sit there and ask you why you bought a silly phone.
Oh, my folding phone?
Yes.
I like the tablet mode on it. Look.
On this note, before we get into there, let's move into scores and recommendations.
Let's move into scores. I'm going to start off with Joey.
Oh, okay. 4 out of 10. No recommendation.
4? Oh, that seems low. Oh.
You know, Joey's 3. Now we got 4.
We're going to have one for every number. And sometimes letters. What about you, Slade?
It's not the best thing I played this year, but I really liked it. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 and a solid recommendation.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. 8 out of 10. And also, of course, a solid recommendation. I think, obviously, it's a great game to play with people, but I think if you have a partner that's not into gaming, this is a pretty good entry-level thing to do.
I think we said that about the Yogg, and I would agree with this one more than the Yogg.
Right, okay. I suppose with the Yogg, it's much more of like a pseudo choose your own adventure, but this is like
this has actual like
engagement.
Gameplay.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So that gives it a lovely 6.66 spooky. Repeating.
Spooky. How appropriate.
How appropriate. It's for October.
Yeah.
When does this episode come out? Oh, right before Halloween.
Oh, perfect.
And there you go, guys. A spooky score for the spooky season.
Ooh. Right, that gives it a solid recommendation. Yeah. Well, 2 out of 3 recommend. Obviously, Joey didn't have a great time with it.
Yeah, Joey didn't have a good time. Tim and I did. Take that as you will.
Yeah. And you know what? It's on Game Pass. Try it. It's free if you have Game Pass.
That's one of those things that makes it so hard to like not recommend a game nowadays. It's like it's on Game Pass.
On Game Pass. Go try it.
Everybody has. You know what you'd never hear that for?
What?
It's on PlayStation Plus. Give it a shot.
Because PlayStation Plus is expensive and
I think it's also because it's got like there's like 3 tiers to it. And they all cost different amount of money.
But so I have Game Pass Ultimate.
I do too.
So you're in the same boat as me, where if I wanted to, I could boot up Minecraft Dungeons right now on my phone and play it anywhere I goddamn please.
Yep.
That is with an argument like that with Game Pass, PlayStation just can't compare.
That's why I have this. I'm holding a Series S in my hands right now, and it's the Game Pass machine. That's what I referred to this little guy as.
Yeah, it's hundreds and thousands of free games. Well, I say free. Obviously, you have to pay for your $7.99 minimum subscription. I pay $10.99.
Yeah,
I'm more than happy to do that myself.
Yep,
more than happy.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, enough Microsoft dick sucking right now. Slade, what are we doing next week?
In 2 weeks' time, we are going to be playing a game that recently got leaked about its remaster, Fallout 3. Yeah, that got leaked in the Microsoft documentation.
Oh, I'm going to
a remaster of it and Oblivion.
No, I heard about the Oblivion remaster because I'm excited for that, but
Fallout 3 as well.
Well, Fallout 3 is one of my favorite RPGs from memory, so I hope I enjoy it still.
I hope so too.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks, everyone. Toodles. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. All right, we're in the post amble.
Okay, we're in the post amble. So, Tim, why a folding phone? Because all I can think about is the glass on it is stupidly thin.
It's actually not glass.
So, what is it? What is
So
it
it
made of?
has a thin glass layer underneath, but it's primarily a plastic perspex.
Right.
And the idea with that is because it's obviously a flexi thing. But I just like the tablet functionality. Like, I was looking at a new phone contract, and I was either going to go for a flip, which is like, a phone and then it's half the size of a phone, or I can have a phone that also becomes a tablet.
You know, I've never owned a tablet.
I think tablets are really, really good when you have a use for them.
Yeah.
If you don't have a use for them, they are very much gathering dust.
It's far too big of a phone to stick in my pocket. That's the way I've always looked at it.
For a tablet, yes, but with this, it's phones. Yeah, it's obviously a little bit thick,
Right. Oh, Jesus.
but that is.
That's thick with like 4 C's.
I have my old phone here by coincidence. That's how thick that is. That's how thick this is. So it's about two phones.
Two Pixel 6s thick.
Well, this is a Galaxy SE FE.
That's an
6.
awful name.
No, it's a Galaxy something 6. FE,
Okay.
5G. So it's about 2 of them thick, but it's not as tall, which is nice. So it like takes up a bit less room.
Right, but my thing is when you're using a phone, and I have a 7 Pro.
Yeah.
I often use the smaller keyboard, like the shrunk one, so I can type with one hand.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Because sometimes you can't get all the way across. So having a phone that's double the width to me just seems.
Well, you don't
Double.
walk around with the phone open like this. You walk around with it like this in your hand, and you just do one-handed typing as well.
Yeah, I don't see me ever using the big tablet part of it.
I use it quite a lot though.
I know. Tim posted a photo of him the other day in Discord of him playing Pokemon Go and something else.
Monster Hunter now.
At the same time.
It's like ADD levels of attention.
I would love to have seen like the temperature reading on your phone.
It's not bad. It's really not bad.
Well, that's good. I will say I'm sticking in the Pixel gang, but I'm not getting the 8, so I'm not doing.
The 8 seems so expensive for what it is. And
Did you know what you get with the 8? So it's $1,000, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen what it comes? So I paid $800 for this.
Yeah.
But you know what it comes with?
What?
Either a pair of Google EarPods, which their version of AirPods,
They're fine.
or the smartwatch that they've revived.
I would take the
revamped.
smartwatch.
So you can pick one or the other, and that comes with that $1,000 price tag. So in my mind, I'm like, could we just knock $250 off of this and just give me the phone, please?
Yeah. Well, the problem I have with... Because you remember I had a Pixel 3 XL for a very, very long time.
You and I both did, and we both loved our Pixel
Phenomenal phone.
And
Absolutely exceptional.
I think this is the one phone you and I agree on, and it's one of the few things we both really agree on, but it's the squeeze to ask Google. That is the best function that it has.
It is one of the best things I've ever seen on a phone, and they took it away for the 4.
Yep.
I don't know why. It was on the
either.
Pixel 1, 2, and 3, and they took it away for the 4, and it's never been back, and it was the best thing they've ever done. And the problem I have with Pixels now is around the 3 kind of era, the price point was pretty competitive for a flagship phone. But now we're looking like at $1,000 for a phone that doesn't compare to other $1,000 phones. It's expensive and not as good.
Yeah. I think mine's excellent.
Yeah, I mean, it's great if you're like, obviously you paid what, $800 for your Pixel 7, did you say you're on?
7 Pro.
7 Pro, okay. How much is the 8 Pro? Is it $1,000 for the 8 Pro?
$1,000 for the 8 Pro. Now this is including that headphone or watch.
So I still think that's really expensive. If you look at the specs, like compare it to like the top of... This is Google's top of the line phone.
Yeah.
Compare it to Samsung's top-of-the-line phone, which would be around the same price point.
I think this is also one of those things, though, kind of like when you pay the Apple tax, that you're getting a little more stability out of it.
I guess, yeah.
Because a lot of times with Samsung's, like, brand new flagship phone, they're usually a little iffy at the start. They get better, as it's been out.
Well, I got this the week it launched.
Right.
And it's been great. My only problem is it doesn't support Nova Launcher very well.
Okay. I also don't like, genuinely, I don't like the Samsung version of Android. I don't like it.
Well, it's just running Android 12.
No, it has its own flavor to it compared to, like, the one straight from Google, who does own Android at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, they've got, like, the Galaxy App Store, but you just cram that in a folder and don't think about it.
Right.
Yeah. It's like the weird, like, body you've hidden in the basement. You just don't you don't tell your friends and family about it, but you know it's there.
Right. Tim, what have you been playing lately? We haven't talked in a long time.
What have I been playing? Trackmania is one I've been playing a lot. It's basically a very arcadey racing game that is entirely about optimization.
Okay.
It's very fun. It's free, but you can pay to get previous seasons of the game and also play the track of the day, so they give you a brand new track every single day.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty fucking good, and it's like £8 for the year.
Oh.
That's not bad.
No, that's not bad at all. That's one of those they're hoping that you, like, forget it.
Well, no, you buy it as a one-time thing, and like at the end they'll be like, "Do you want to buy another one?" So that I've been playing Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
I have. I think it has one of the worst named games, to be honest.
Well, it's essentially a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio Future, and
Right.
I love Jet Set Radio.
Right. I've watched one of my coworkers play it, and I don't know. It just does not. It seems like too much of a sugar rush of a game.
Imagine Tony Hawk,
To me?
but on sugar rushes with a graffiti element to it.
That would just be Skate, wouldn't it?
I don't think Skate had graffiti to it, did it?
Who? No. Tony Hawk's American Wasteland did, though.
That did, but that
Yes.
that didn't have the sugar rush element to it.
Do you think we sound like old people sometimes sitting there at the nursing home trying to remember what game that was?
Oh my god, yeah, fucking tell me about it. What else have I been playing? Obviously, Baldur's Gate 3, that's very fun. I'm surprised you haven't got on that. That seems
I don't
right
have
up the
time.
street.
I don't have time. I do not have... All my free time is just dedicated to playing stuff for Game Club.
Get a Steam Deck, you freeze it up so much.
I wish I could. I can't afford one right
Get
now.
it with your tax rebate.
Probably will. Or my Christmas bonus. It'll be one or the other.
Absolutely. Do yourself a favor, get yourself a Steam Deck. It'll change how you
Honestly,
play.
I might sell my PS5 to get one, because, God, this thing
I
is awful.
don't blame you, dude. I don't blame you.
Because all they make is Spider-Man, and there's no other games for it but Spider-Man, and that makes PlayStation fantastic.
I have my PC for when I want to play like really high-end stuff. Like, because obviously the Steam Deck is not the most highly spec'd bit of kit,
Right.
but it's a handheld. It's a handheld gaming PC that can play all of your Game Pass games plus your Steam library.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll probably get one for Christmas or whatever.
I'd highly recommend it. It takes about 2 weeks to ship, though, mind.
That's fine.
It's not bad, but like,
That's fine. Do you remember when they came out and Gabe Newell was just handing them out to people?
yeah,
Like,
he was going around
taking them to
Seattle.
their houses.
He was going to Seattle to deliver people's Steam Decks they had pre-ordered, provided they lived in Seattle. And people were just like, "Who is this strange man?" Like, if people didn't know who he was, they'd be like, "Who is this strange man?" But if they knew, they were like, What the fuck is Gabe Newell doing at my house?" If Gabe Newell turned up to my house, I would think I'd done something really wrong.
We've kept the bad issue from Steve, and he just pulls out a baseball bat and starts
Wailing on the PC. He's done VAC banning in real life. But highly recommend. Obviously, I gush about the fucking Steam Deck every episode we're on here, but
right.
It's absolutely changed the way that I play games now.
I'm about to say, you hear me slandering the PS5 all the time.
There you go. But
Yeah.
for full disclosure, whenever I say I played this on the Steam Deck, whenever I'm playing a game, it's mostly that I'm playing the whole game on the Steam Deck. I'm not just trying it on the Steam Deck. I'm sat back with my TV on, watching something, playing like, I don't know, Fallout or Minecraft Dungeons or
Right.
whatever. The only games that I really won't do on the Steam Deck are some fighting games, depending on how serious I'm being, and first-person shooters.
Right.
You can do first-person shooters on the Steam Deck. It's got a wonderful little thing where if you put, the thumbsticks.
Yes.
They have capacitors in them, right? So if you put your thumb on the thumbstick, you can move the whole Steam Deck around, and it will emulate a mouse.
Okay.
That's really good. It's a bit like the Wii U gamepad or the Switch, in a way like that. But it allows you to play first-person games, and you know what else? Flight sim games. Because you're like turning the plane with your fucking Steam Deck.
Okay. I'll probably have to get the mid-tier one, to be honest.
I got the mid-tier, and you know what? The only two differences are the type of screen in terms of like the glass panel. They have one, the mid-tier is just a regular glass, but the other one is like a graded glass, so it doesn't let like sunlight glare on it. But that's not really that big of an issue. Plus, you can get those screen protectors that do that anyway.
Right. Well, the big thing I want to know is if I bought the 64 one, can I upgrade the storage?
You can. However, at that point, I would argue getting the 256 gig, getting comfortable with the Steam Deck, and then going for the upgrade down the line if you need it, because this thing can also take micro SD cards.
That's true. Well, I was just thinking get the 64 one, get a micro SD that's like a terabyte or whatever nowadays.
We can get a terabyte internal SSDs on Amazon for the Steam Deck and just put it in yourself. iFixit's got a really simple guide to do it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did I tell you? Were you here for me shattering my phone?
No.
Yeah, my Pixel 7. I shattered it.
No. Let's have a look.
Oh, no, it's fixed now.
Oh, okay.
It's fixed now. But
Amazing.
I
What did you do?
I was at work and a piece of drill pipe slipped and smacked me in the thigh, and I felt it hit my phone. And I normally put my phone in my back pocket because I'm facing the equipment.
Right.
The second it hit my phone and the music stopped playing, I'm like,
it's dead.
Yeah.
I can remember when I was on a MacBook and I took this thing to the Pennsylvania mountains for a job, and I had that on this like, you know those sheet music stands you get for like bands or whatever? I put it on one of them because we were having a bit of a jam session. I was like running synths and stuff, and I put it on there, and I had the laptop going, and I was jamming, and the stand collapsed.
Oh no!
And the MacBook. Imagine this is your screen. Like this hand is my screen, so it did this. It went back, landed on the screen, and then the case, like the rest of the thing, slammed it shut. Right. And the people who were there with me were like, "That sounds really bad," and I was like, "It's fine. This thing has had a lot worse done to it." And then I opened up the screen, and the glass had just shattered. It was all over. Like the panel worked just fine, but the glass was fucking everywhere.
Right. So mine was just dead, and the thing is, so iFixit, I bought my replacement kit from there. Not a sponsor, by the way.
Not a sponsor. Would love to though, because they're great.
Not a sponsor, but could be. Gave me so I bought the screen replace, like just the screen by itself for a Pixel 7. How much?
It's a couple hundred, I know.
So it cost me $250.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was $250.
That's the panel as well, because the two are one piece.
Right. The One Piece.
I just got done watching live action One Piece this afternoon. It's pretty fucking good.
That's a separate conversation we need to have, because I genuinely hate the fact that it's good. Anyways, but it was like there was a $10 difference between just the screen or the screen and the kit to fix it.
Get the kit.
right, exactly. But the place here in town wanted like $400.
That.
And I'm like, that was like the cheapest I could find it here in town. And I'm like, I'm not paying $400 when the phone cost $800.
Yeah. Why would you why would you pay half the phone's value to repair one aspect of the phone when you can get the parts and do it yourself online with a pretty straightforward guide?
Yeah, exactly.
For half that.
So it took me about 30 minutes, and yeah, knocked it out. And ever since, my screen's been great, and the fingerprint scanner still works, which I'm really happy about.
Is it a on-screen fingerprint scanner, or?
It is on screen.
Oh, we love that. This Galaxy's got an on-screen one, but the Fold does not have a on-screen one, but the fingerprint is tied to the lock button just there.
Gotcha. So on the 7s, you won't be able to see it, but like here in the middle of the numbers, that's where the fingerprint is.
So with the Galaxy, it's down here. which is
this a riveting conversation to listen to, by the way, people? Can you tell we're fluffing for time?
I think it's interesting. So it's there, but I still think the greatest fingerprint sensor placement in the world...
Pixel 3?
Pixel 3 and Pixel 4. Because it's
it
exactly where your finger sits.
It was on the back of the phone.
And it's perfect, and you can swipe down on it and view your notifications without having to touch your screen. It's the best.
It's just him being mad at Google.
In fact, hang on. Bear with me. I'm going into my bag.
There's a bear with you?
There's a bear with me. Hold on, I'm rummaging through my bag.
Tim, is that your least favorite old joke of ours?
Probably, yeah, at this point.
Okay.
Do you know what this is?
Pixel 3.
My Pixel 3. It's in my bag as a spare carry in case my phone breaks.
So on the shelf next to me, I have my 3. No, I have my 4, or not 4. My Pixel 5.
I didn't realize how much of a wide boy this is in comparison to my
what do you mean?
phone. Look how wide that is.
Yeah,
it's huge. Yeah, it's the only reason I got rid of this Pixel. The battery life isn't so great, and I don't know if you can see the battery's starting to bend. Okay, so it's fine as a spare in a pinch. Because everyone has a USB-C cable on them these days.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't go back to Pixel unless they went back to squeeze and all that.
Before we move on to the One Piece live action, why I hate that it's good.
Yeah.
So iPhone. Well, the Apple now has to go to USB-C.
Yes, which is very funny because they really didn't want to.
Are you going to be like me and other Android users and refuse to lend them chargers?
No, I'm not a dickhead. I'm a big proprietor of one cable for everything. My laptop over there runs USB-C. My phone takes USB-C. My Switch, my Steam Deck. The only thing that doesn't is my PC. Yeah,
no, I'm going to be pedantic and not let him borrow my USB-C cable.
Even my audio interface is USB-C.
Mine is USB-A.
Oh, that's an old boy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk One Piece. And then we'll keep this to 10 minutes because otherwise it will be genuinely longer than the actual episode.
Right. So I haven't watched it all the way through yet. I'm like 2 episodes in. But the thing is, here's my problem with them, is that it turned out to be good.
So I was talking to some people at work. It's because Oda is overwatching it.
Right. But the problem is that we're going to get like another 5 or 6 live action adaptations, and they're going to skip that part for why it's good, which is because the creator's involved.
Yeah.
And then they're not going to be good, and One Piece is going to sit there as the outlier.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate it, because it's the anomaly. It is it sticks out, and they'll be like, oh, it's good, we could put money behind this, but they're not going to put money behind it in the right way.
Well, I've been telling myself for years that I want to watch One Piece, but then I keep remembering it's over 1,000 episodes long. Whereas
I thought you were watching One Piece.
I started and then I stopped because I was like, it's 1,000 episodes. I'm not doing that. So this does a really good job at covering a lot of like the first arc. And it's pretty clear, like they've already renewed it for season 2, which is great. And it's pretty clear they're planning on doing a lot more with it, because why would they commit to something like One Piece if they weren't going to carry it all the way through? But then again, it is Netflix. So,
right, it's Netflix, so you don't know. You genuinely don't.
No, it's a Russian roulette of TV shows.
No, and if you look at like how they butchered JoJo season 6, right? I know you weren't watching it, but the way they did haphazardly the release of it,
like a staggered 3-part thing
with zero hype for the last of it.
Yeah, just here it is. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic given the reception, and I'm optimistic given that Oda is directly involved in the production. I just hope that it stays and we get more, because obviously we're getting season 2. I want to be caught up on the entire thing with the longer live action thing. I could absolutely get behind that.
Right. So before we go too far, have you been watching any good anime this season?
I have not watched any anime lately.
Oh man.
No. I've mostly been watching things like It's Always Sunny, What We Do in the Shadows. Have you watched What We Do in the Shadows?
No, but is the new Sunny good?
I'm not caught up to that far yet.
So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I stopped watching it like season 10, I think, or 9, maybe?
So, Payne has never seen It's Always Sunny prior to watching it with me.
Oh, okay.
And she really likes it now. And we just got done, I don't remember what the season number is, but you know the one where Mac came out to his dad?
No, so that hadn't happened.
Okay. Well, spoilers.
Thanks, Tim.
No problem. We're on the season after that.
Okay.
And that whole episode where Matt comes out to his dad might be some of the most moving things I've ever seen a typically comedy show do.
Right.
Genuinely quite touching.
All right.
Yeah, but we've mostly been doing that. You should also try What We Do in the Shadows.
What we doing? What's it on? Like Netflix?
I don't know. We watch it on a definitely not illegal streaming service.
What We Do in the Shadows. So the thing is that thankfully it's on Hulu. Okay.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
My girlfriend and her family, they do things the right way, and they have all the streaming services. So
Sure,
I'm finally
legally speaking, of course.
I'm finally being the mooch. I've never gotten to do that.
It's fun. We'll watch a Matt Berry clip or two because he's a genius. But you should give that show a try. It's absolutely brilliant. It's about 4 vampires and their little familiar that all live in a house. And that's about it. Like they're all like very of olden times, so to speak, but they're like in like modern New York.
Okay. One of the things I have been watching lately for shows with real people, I'm a sucker for Hell's Kitchen, right?
Oh, we've been watching that as well. We've been going back and watching old seasons.
So on YouTube, the Hell's Kitchen YouTube.
Yes, I love this YouTube channel.
They have the served raw. Have you watched any of those?
Yes.
I fucking love it.
Have you seen some of the video titles for the Hell's Kitchen YouTube channel?
No, it's not the Hell's. No. You're thinking of Kitchen Nightmares.
Kitchen Nightmares. Sorry. Yes.
Yes. So Hell's Kitchen, that's the one where he has the restaurant where
Yes.
people are trying to win it. But if you haven't watched Served Raw, it's basically like the dinner service unedited.
Right.
So it doesn't have the narrator, the silly music, the cuts to the interviews later. It's just the dinner service. And you can see why he gets so mad. Like, it's really, really good.
I'm gonna send you the link to the Kitchen Nightmares YouTube channel. I'd just like you to read some of the episode titles before we go. And look at the thumbnails.
Bold of you to assume I'm not subscribed. Staff, you won't feel bad firing.
There's like one with like a kawaii Gordon next to it as well.
Yeah. There's one where it's just like Gordon. It says, "Do you have games on your phone?" The title of it, as well as I can't think of a title. Please watch. It's good. I promise.
There's one where it's like, could someone else think of the title? I haven't had my coffee yet.
Yeah.
What else?
Watch this or I'll get fired.
Yeah, it's clearly some millennial running it, which is really funny.
I think so too.
These videos are like this. These fridges are like this video, lukewarm.
Bad burger, send Gordon Batty. Better than baked beans on toast.
There's one here that just says even baddies get saddies.
Eat the spaghetti to forgetty your regretty.
I want to meet whoever is running the Kitchen Nightmares YouTube channel.
It's got to be one of his daughters. It's got to be, right?
I don't think it is. I think it's just some like millennial intern at the network.
I think it's got to be. I think it's that. You ever watched? You're not big in the cars like I am, are you?
No.
Okay, there's a YouTube channel called Donut Media.
Can't say I've heard of them.
They have a series called Tool Party.
I like it.
But they bought a bunch of tools from Temu.
Oh god, okay.
And we're just torture testing them lately. They also did the thing about I don't know if you've ever looked on AliExpress or Wish or whatever.
So yeah, this hitbox I got is from AliExpress.
Okay, they sell cars though. I don't know if you know this.
I did not know they sell
So
cars. I would never buy a car on AliExpress.
So they imported a mini truck
Right.
from AliExpress. And I'll send you the video because it's a really funny watch. And what all they had to go through is ridiculous just to get it. They also took it to the to a dyno to see like how much horsepower it makes.
I'm looking at this. Yeah, they're actually not bad prices, assuming these are full things.
Right.
Yeah, there's one here. What currency is RS?
I don't know.
Oh, it's the Indian rupee.
What are you on?
AliExpress.
No, I meant your VPN.
Oh, I'm not on a VPN. That's just AliExpress's default for me.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. Right, we should probably wrap this up before we make the post-amble longer than the actual episode and the preamble put together.
See, this is what happens when we don't have Joey here to hold us together.
I know, Joey's the glue. Miss you, Joey. Get well soon. Love you. Alright, we'll see everyone in 2 weeks' time where Slade is going to order a truck off of AliExpress. Bye.
I'll let you know how it is.
Bye.
Bye.